Yo, what's up everybody? How we doing out there? It's your old pal Shred Riffs. I am going to be playing some guitar tonight on this stream. I'm going to do a bunch of metal stuff. I'm also going to play some improvised stuff as well. So doing a little bit of jamming, if you will. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please drop a comment. If you guys have questions about guitar stuff at all, anything at all, definitely drop a line in the chat for me to check out here. And I'm just looking forward to hanging out with people and kicking it with you guys. I guess the first thing that I'll do is play this song that it's been in production for a little bit, and I don't have it down perfectly for the stream here, but it's a pretty cool little song that I'm going to be releasing probably early next year, so I'll go ahead and play that for you guys. Here's what my guitar sounds like. Nice and brutal, so here we go. Well, there you go. That's a new song that I'm working on. Still got to do vocals on that one. I think I'm going to get Nick Cross, the vocalist from Divisive, to sing on that. But Looks like we got Johnson in the house. What's up, man? Those are my drum grooves. Yes, they are. Those are programmed by yours truly. And I'm playing everything out of my Spark 2 right now. So if the quality is not super clear, that's why. But the last time that I did this, I was jamming along with my computer and the microphones were like slightly out of sync with the computer. So everything I played was out of time. So that was an utter tragedy. So we're going to try to avoid that tonight by just going super simple. I got the Spark 2 for all of the sounds today. So yeah, if anybody here has any questions about guitar stuff, let me know. I think the most recent thing that's happened in my life, this past weekend we had a Friendsgiving, which was really fun. I got to carve a turkey, first turkey I've ever carved in my life. Felt pretty manly for doing that. Had about 15 to 20 just like co-workers and friends over, people that work with my wife and people from our church group were here kicking it, and we had a grand old time. It was awesome. So another thing, if you're a Shred Sessions subscriber, you may have noticed that we did a podcast with Rigs of Death Metal with Ryan Vickers. So if you want to check out that conversation sometime tomorrow or later this week, you can do that on the Shred Sessions podcast channel. Just search Shred Sessions on your favorite podcast platform, and it should be there. And we talked for about 2.5 hours about like death metal guitar tones, different things in the guitar world. Guitar prices are insanely expensive these days, so we were talking about that. We talked about the Vitriol guitar rig video that we saw, which was insane. Like, those guys are out touring with, well, they were out touring. I'll get to that in a second. But they were out touring with these insane pedal boards, 2 guitar players playing in stereo, Kyle Rasmussen and Keith Marrow, who are 2 fantastic players, by the way. Like, they're just simply incredible players. But unfortunately, they've ended their tour because something must have happened out on the road. And Kyle, the kind of the band leader, the guy who started Vitriol, was left at like a gas station or something like that. That's what Metal Sucks and all the metal news outlets are reporting. But something happened. You know, things happen in bands, man, especially brutal metal bands. And it is tough being out on the road. It's so hard. Like, so I commend anybody for going out there and touring. But I just think it's crazy that they left him at a gas station. I mean, he must have been having a mental breakdown or just having a total freak out, or something violent may have happened. So that's why they opted to do that. I'm not sure. I know Kyle released a video on Instagram about an hour ago. I haven't checked it out yet, but that's kind of the most recent metal news. Another thing I saw today is there's a meme going around that Isan from Emperor is going to be joining, what band is that? Arch Enemy, which is typically a female-fronted band, or has been for several decades. I think that's fake. So correct me if I'm wrong. If he's really doing that, I would be incredibly surprised. But I think what I'm going to do tonight is get all of the metal playing done in the front end, and then we'll talk some more. Hopefully some people drop some questions, or let's talk about technique. Let's talk about what it takes to play fast metal guitar. I've got some things pulled up that might be helpful for you guys. The stuff that I'm playing for you guys tonight, it took me a while to get the stuff down to the level where I can play it for you on a live stream. You're going to be getting these songs tonight just totally raw and brutal. So they're not my typical perfect takes that I post on when I do my multicam guitar playthroughs. I usually find the best takes of each portion of the song and put that in the video for you. So, but tonight it's going to be raw, and I just think that's more fun. It's closer to what I would be doing if you would come see me play live or something like that. But anyway, I'll quit talking for now, and I'm going to play Golden Mouth of Ruin by Archspire. Been playing this one for a while, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to take a little bit of my baby water here. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, here we go. Golden Mouth of Ruin. Yikes. There she is. Golden Mouth of Ruin. Not my best performance, that's for sure. I'm getting used to doing this on camera for a live audience. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions about that stuff, about playing a song like that and what it takes and what it feels like, let me know. Really, you just have to learn to live and die by the metronome. So here's my metronome, and you want to for a song like this, you want to warm up. So I always recommend stretching your wrists out. I do this kind of intermittently as I'm practicing something like this. Stress ball helps kind of loosen up your hands a little bit. that's always good. You can even take a rubber band and like do this motion. But I'll just sit with the metronome, and I think it's a good thing to be able to take a riff from a song. Like I practice with the tab a lot, but once I learned the song, I would just play it, directly with the click, and take a riff and basically be able to reimagine it in different ways, playing it at eighth note triplets, 16th notes, kind of like this, and then triplets. And then actually playing the thing the way it was written. So it's not necessarily the content of the song that's difficult, although there are some really hard parts in there, but like harmonically it's not a challenging thing to play, because it's just like 1 1 4 5 chord progression basically in harmonic minor. The tapping thing did take a while. That's why I've got this thing on the guitar. That section's pretty rough. So the ending part here is the hardest. Right, so Johnson says that should be a horror flick. Friendsgiving. There's actually a movie out right now called Thanksgiving, and it's freaking hilarious, man. I forget the name of all the actors in it, but it's absolutely hysterical. The opening scene, I think Tim Dillon, the comedian, is in the movie too. So if you haven't seen Thanksgiving, just look it up, see where it's available on streaming services. But we laughed our tails off watching that movie. One of the funniest things that we've seen. But a Friendsgiving, yeah, that'd be a great. Maybe they'll do that for the next Thanksgiving movie. But yeah, talk to me, guys, if you're watching out there. I want to hear from you. So let me know what's going on with you. If you got questions about anything, man, anything guitar related, let me know. I don't know how it sounds out there. I'm assuming my voice sounds okay. Let me know how the audio, like the guitar and the backing track audio sounds. Hopefully that sounds okay. But yeah, I'm just looking to connect with people in this way. And, of course, people can watch this video after the stream is over and leave comments as well. But I'd love to hear from you guys and talk to you. I'm trying to build a little guitar community here. So I think what I'll do next is play. I'll probably play a Hate Eternal song. I'll play All Hope Destroyed. I haven't played this one in a while, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to switch guitars, and I got to put this strap on the other guitar as well. But I wanted to do this because I'm getting ready to go out of town on Wednesday, so I'm not going to have a lot of time this week to make videos and stuff like that. I'm going to try to get another one tomorrow. That's why I wanted to do the live stream. Brian Roberts, he asks, what have you been working on lately? Today it was a lot of technical stuff, but I'm currently working through a Scriabin chord progression and here's what it looks like. It's a lot of chords, and I'm trying to like distill down like the chords and the melody to kind of make a guitar adaptation of it. That's kind of the first step. And then once I kind of know what's happening melodically, what I try to do is actually learn how to like solo and compose with that. I kind of stepped away from that project for a while, but I'm But I'm back. I'm back into doing that. I did that for a couple hours earlier today. But yeah, I recommend that anybody does that. If you just find a classical piece that you really enjoy and analyze the chord progression, or watch a YouTube video of the analysis of the chord progression, write it down, and see what kind of riffs you can make with the content that's in that song, right? So let me forgot to grab my strap off of here. Things sound pretty clear. As an Archspire virgin, what song album would you recommend to? Wow, Johnson, that's quite a way of putting that. I mean, check out the Golden Mouth of Ruin album. That's their most recent one. I know that they already have an album recorded with their new drummer Spencer Moore from Inferi, and that should be coming out probably early next year. They spent like a good amount of time and money putting that record together. I'm very curious to see how it compares to their previous work. But yeah, their most recent one is like from 2022 or 2023 maybe. I think it's been a few years since the Archspire album. I mean, Dean Lamb, he does a lot of different things. He's doing live streams like this, but he's also he's got a Patreon, and I've just seen him. I follow his Patreon, so I can see he's been going nuts on Patreon. So I think the album is recorded. We're just waiting to there's no release date yet. And I think they're self-releasing it too. They were on Season of Mist, but now they're doing it themselves. So that'll be interesting. Maybe it gets picked up by a major label. I don't know. So Brian Roberts asks, what kind of benefits do you get from that type of practice? I mean, to me, it's really everything. Like, I might compare it to like learning these metal songs, like that tuning, for example. I wrote so much music from that Archspire tuning, the EAD GBE tuning. It's just so useful in so many ways, and that was helpful. And then their riffs too. Like, I'm not saying I'm stealing their riffs, but their ideas are kind of in the background of like when I'm writing stuff. So it just highly influences the music that you write. But when it comes to classical music, especially something like Scriabin, the harmonic structures in his music are really sophisticated. They're like, in my opinion, he's playing jazz pretty much. He's playing jazz harmony, but he was doing it like maybe 50 years before jazz really became a thing. I don't know. I'm not a music historian, but the benefit I get from it is the harmonic sense and knowing what you can do with chord progressions. Number one, the melodies too. His melodies are fantastic. So just kind of absorbing that stuff, it's been really life-giving for me. You know, I'm trying to think of other ways that it's helpful, but I write these long strings of chords down, and I'm not really hip on set theory yet, but I think I'm gonna take a course learning how to analyze classical music with set theory. There's this YouTuber named Jay Beard. He's a piano player, and he basically, his whole channel is about Scriabin. So check out Jay Beard music, and he has like a course on Creal. I think it's like $80, so I haven't bought it yet because I'm like, dang, that's kind of expensive. But it's called Composing Like Scriabin, so I'm gonna check that out and try to get into it. Squinister Metal, dude, you are ripping. How much are you practicing to reach this level of technical ability? I mean, more recently I've been practicing 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I took a little bit of a break from that for a couple months, but I was doing that for about a year prior to that. I think I started like September of 2024. So that's, yeah, it takes a lot of work. it's just amazing what can happen when you spend time with the instrument. And like, I love making YouTube videos about gear and about like practice amps and stuff. You guys that have seen my channel, like, it's a lot of Spark practice amp videos and THR videos, and those are great. But I think what I want to do is get my playing up to a certain level and then do more live streaming, because I think that's where we can interact more expediently. And also people can tip me here, so that like making a little bit of money live streaming is a goal that I have. I'm not saying no pressure on anybody tonight, but that's something that I'd like to do at some point. So did any jazz guys mention Scriabin in interviews as an influence? Not that I'm aware of, man. I know that some of them were probably influenced by Scriabin, but I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, playing guitar and practicing guitar is one thing, but then the other side of it is learning music history, right? And I do watch a lot of videos about, classical music history, certain composers. I mean, it's just fascinating to learn what those guys did in their time. I think in some ways I kind of envy classical composers in many respects, because they didn't have this insane amount of distraction. Like, they didn't have cell phones, they didn't have computers and TVs. They had things like instruments to entertain themselves. And when you left the presence of someone, you were truly away from them and you were with your own thoughts. And I think that world is possibly helpful. Yeah, please sign up if you want to. I have a member section of my channel that you guys can sign up for if anybody out there is interested. I think it's as low as like $3.99 a month. I just have one video. It's a scales video. It teaches you how to practice scales all over the guitar, a variety of different ways, vertical, horizontal. Just basically, it shows you guys how, like, my process of taking apart a scale, whether it be the major scale, harmonic scale, melodic minor, or even like an exotic scale, like diminished or augmented. So yeah, I think that's a lot of talking for now. So I'm gonna jump back over to I'll play Judas for you guys. Does that sound cool to you guys? Okay, here comes Judas. Here comes Judas, walking through the forest, walking through the forest. He's betraying Jesus. You guys love that, right? Okay, here we go. Behold Judas. Woo! That one hurts a little bit to play. Right here, right by my elbow. Like when I squeeze this ball, I don't know if you can see, like this muscle right in there. Man, that's a brutal song. This whole thing. Which it might be hard to hear that while the track is playing, but man, Eric Rutan is a beast for writing that. And I know that's like some pretty extreme stuff. Some of you guys might not be so much into that, but I just appreciate it because it's like gladiator football guitar playing. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, it's like it's a sport at that point, and the physicality of it is really fun, man. It's I feel alive when I'm playing that stuff for sure. So, what was it like to study with Ben Monder? I took 2-hour-long lessons with Ben, like a couple weeks apart, and I think he could tell that I needed to work more on triads, so he gave me a lot of interesting ways of playing triads. It's been a while since I've looked at my notes from the lesson, so I can't recall a ton of information to share with you guys here, but he's a brilliant player. His command of harmony is out of control. So yeah, I love I love Ben Monder, and he's a part of the straight ahead jazz guitar scene in New York. I know Vaughn Stofey from Defeated Sanity is friends with him. That's kind of how I discovered Defeated Sanity, was in the lesson I took with Ben when I told him I liked metal. He was like, hey, you need to check out Defeated Sanity. So that was how I first heard of that band. So yeah, I think that's a thing to realize, like any guitar player that you could think of pretty much, you guys can reach out to and ask for a lesson, and I think it was a reasonable price. Like I thought it was fair, the price that I paid for I'm not going to tell you because I don't know what Ben's price is for lessons in 2025. This is a few years ago. But hit him up if you want to take a guitar lesson. But I think the main takeaway from taking lessons with Ben was just his sheer devotion and dedication to making music and playing the guitar. He's played the same guitar for his whole career pretty much, an Ibanez like Artcore guitar. I forget the model, but plays the same guitar. I don't think he is like wealthy or super wealthy or anything. He probably lives a somewhat humble life in New York City and just plays the hell out of the guitar. And I just really respect somebody who's able to support themselves with the instrument and devote their life to the craft like that. I think that was the main thing, is like just how easy it was for him to play chords and to just express himself with the instrument. So, what else we got here? You came to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and you are clearly out of bubblegum. That's awesome. Duke Nukem reference. Yeah, this is fun. Yeah, what other questions do you guys have? Anybody else out there that's watching that's new have any questions about guitar? I'm playing this guitar. Believe it or not, this is not a real Ibanez. The secret's out. But it is made of authentic Ibanez USA parts. It's put together by a student of the guy that used to build guitars for Satriani and Petrucci back in the 90s, the USA Custom Shop. And these were parts that were going to go in the Bonfire. So my friend Frank Pasquale rescued them. He put this guitar together. He had it finished by this guy, I think his name is like Paul Wilkinson. But it's got a beautiful quilted maple top, one pickup. You never see these with one pickup. Someone from Ibanez would have to come to my house to take this thing away from me, and they better have another guitar to swap it out with, but they're never getting it. So people ask me about this guitar all the time. But yeah, it's not a real Ibanez, like official model. If it was, it would probably be worth $5 or $6 grand. but it's special to me because I know the person who made it, and he was kind of like a guitar mentor, spiritual mentor in my life in high school mostly, and then partly in college. He's the one who built a couple other my guitars back here, Frank Pasquale. So this was like one of his favorite guitars from his collection. And when I graduated college, I think my parents asked me like what I would want for a gift, and I said, I want that red guitar that Frank has, and they paid him a fair amount of money for this instrument, and I still have it to this day. So a little bit of guitar information for you there. So what do you guys think? Should I play another metal thing, or do you guys want to hear some improvising? Let me know. If any, we only got 3 viewers. How sad. But I'm gonna play it all. So maybe I'll just I got one more metal tune to get out of the way. So I'm gonna go grab that. Actually, I'm gonna grab a water really fast. I'll be back in 10 seconds here. Improvise. All right. Brian Roberts requests the improvising. That's what he's going to get. Let me mute this real quick. I'm going to play the Malmsteen Strat for this next one. And Johnson, you'll know this track if you're still here. This is one we've been working on. It's the nasty funk jam track in D minor. So ye old Strat of old. Here she is. But yeah, while I'm jamming, this is a 9-minute track. I'm not gonna jam for the whole 9 minutes. I'll do like a few minutes, and then I'll wait for some questions to pop up. So let me toggle through my different presets on here. You guys hear that? All right, here we go. Let's jam. Yo, that was rough. I'm sorry. We'll stop it right there. Yeah, cool. Fun stuff. I'm not really super loose yet. So you hear me overplaying a lot. You know, this guitar is really easy to overplay on. I'm kind of it's tough to switch from root hand to playing a guitar like this. That you need some good. You need a light touch on it. You know, and my buddy Joel Gage was over here a couple days ago playing on this guitar, and like he's like the perfect type of player for a guitar like this because he just plays really light. He plays like funk, fusion guitar stuff. But he's a gigging guy. He's been gigging for many years. Good friend of mine, great player. But he was playing on this guitar, and he just made it sound so awesome. But I don't know. I guess I'm more of an angry guitar player. So take that for what it is. So yeah, what's going on, everybody? If you're just jumping in, I saw maybe Lane Maylane jumped in, guitar player for Tony Danza. Lane, if you're here, show yourself. So I'm trying to think of what else is going on. A few weeks ago, I went and saw Sanguisugabog in Indianapolis. That was pretty cool. I got to interview Defeated Sanity. I got to interview Jacob and Vaughn from the band, and they're incredible musicians. They play like super progressive, slamming, brutal death metal. It's unlike any kind of metal that you would ever hear, and they're a very unique band, and I think it's cool that they're out on tour right now with such a hype band like Sanguisugabogg. And Sanguisugabogg is rightfully a hyped band because they just put on such a great show. So, yeah, so that track, it's all D minor. So I'm doing a lot of D minor pentatonic stuff on that. You could approach it with E Dorian. Actually, no, D Dorian. So E Dorian, D minor pentatonic. I keep saying E, but D as in dog, Dorian. One of the things I'm trying to work on is playing more, line flow ideas. So rather than just playing notes, I mean, that stuff sounds great, but it gets very cliche sounding after a while. So basically like approach notes, like walking up to the next chord change. So when it goes to that B flat to C, A minor, and then that D7 sharp 9. Over that you can do E flat melodic minor. Yeah, so do I know anybody in Tennessee that scallops fingerboards? To be honest, I don't. I think you can order a scalloped neck, like a Strat replacement neck, from like a company like Warmoth. And you might even be able to go on reverb.com and find somebody that's like scalloping fingerboards with like a CNC machine of some sort, if you really want to put a scalloped fingerboard on your existing Strat. I think it's a cool thing. I play so different on this guitar than I do other instruments, and it's really helped my playing. Like I said, like I play too hard. Like I gotta lighten my touch up. Like Lane was saying, American Gladiator guitar playing. Eric Rutan's guitar playing and jawline. I can only hope, man. I gotta maintain this, trying to keep my jawline intact, right? So, I got a bit of a gobbler down here, as they say. So, trying to reduce the gobble, which is gonna be difficult when I'm eating the food that we're eating this week for Thanksgiving in the United States. So, but yeah, if you want a fingerboard, if you want an existing fingerboard scalloped, I wouldn't recommend that because it's going to end up being so expensive. Because someone's going to have to spend at least an entire day doing that. So think about what you would pay a mechanic an entire day, or a luthier, $100 an hour or something, maybe $60 an hour, $50 an hour on the low side. So that's going to add up pretty quick. Just find one that's already made. I think just check warmoth.com and see. I think it's still warmoth.com, but they're kind of the original replacer, Strat replacement, Tele replacement. You can get really cool stuff. Matt Knowles can do it. Brian Roberts had one done by Glazer Instruments years ago. Hey, maybe it's easier than I think it is. Thanks for dropping that in there. So yeah, Matt Knowles is a luthier in town that he set up this guitar for me. He put my switch in here, the bridge and neck combined switch. So when I'm in the bridge position, I can play out of these two pickups at the same time, which just has a unique hollow sound on it. So here's with just the bridge. And then here's with the neck. Just kind of a different sound. It's pretty cool. Another thing you can do, a cool Strat mod that this guy Steven Davis told me about, he's a good pal of mine, is you can get a blend knob and take out one of your tones. You only need one tone knob, right, for the whole guitar. You take out maybe this middle tone knob and put in a blend knob where you can blend the amount of neck pickup to your bridge pickup that you want. He had a Strat set up like that. That was pretty cool. I had never heard of that before or seen that. So, man, we're down to 2 viewers. Well, I guess there's 4 now. Wish there was more, but I'm going to start doing this live streaming thing more regularly, guys. I'm going to get Christian Colabelli to come and jam with me too. And maybe some of the viewers, we can feature you guys on the show if you want to come over and jam. Maybe we can set something like that up if you're in Middle Tennessee. But this is something I wanted to do for a while. I did a live stream many months ago, but I think in the new year, I'm going to start doing this every week, and we'll try to get more people here hanging out. So that'll be fun. So yeah, Matt Knowles can scallop your fingerboard, potentially reach out to him. I think he's Matty K Guitar on Instagram. You can send him a message. Glazer guitars. I would think it would be expensive, you know, if you want that done. This guitar made by the Fender factory. Unfortunately, this guitar, when I got it, it played okay, but they had all this overspray on the frets, so I had to have Matt basically file, like do a fret dress on this brand new instrument. And I went into more detail about that in my Should You Buy a Malmsteen Strat video. So you can check that out on my channel. So let's see here. Let's find another jam track, and I'll just play for a couple minutes. But I mean, I would prefer to hang out and talk with you guys if more people would drop questions. But there aren't a lot of questions going on right now. So I've played over this track a lot in the past, but let's check it out. I'll stop there. Not really cooking as good as I'd like to tonight, to be honest with you guys. I feel like I'm sounding not so good. Biggest inspirations on guitar. I mean, I can go back to the beginning if you guys want to. I mean, Rage Against the Machine was like my first favorite band, so I loved Tom Morello as like a 7th and 8th grader. Then I got into like Dream Theater, John Petrucci, incredible guitar player, still a fan of his to this day. Got into like a lot of metal stuff around like later high school and college. Tony McAlpine, he's a huge influence on me as well. Let's see here. I mean, there's so many. I was a huge prog head in high school and college. So bands like Planet X, Symphony X, Dream Theater, any type of like collaboration. I was a huge King's X fan too. If your band had an X in it, I was a fan, basically. And I used to drive around singing all of those King's X songs. I could sing almost back in the day. I could hit all the notes that Doug could hit. And so that was a huge influence. I'm trying to think, like in college, I got into like Meshuggah. That was when I really discovered Meshuggah and Friedrich Thorndahl. Listened to basically everything that those guys, any track that was ever released by Meshuggah, I listened to like in college. And then, of course, I've listened to them since that time. Still probably the best live metal band is Meshuggah. You cannot go wrong going to see them live. Other bands are doing it great too. We saw Lorna Shore recently. That was an incredible show in terms of like production. So my wife and I are fans of Lorna Shore, so we went and saw them. Great guitar playing too. I mean, geez. Yeah, probably my biggest influence of the last like 5 to 10 years is probably Alan Holdsworth. And then I studied guitar with Shane Roberts. So Shane's been a huge influence on me. Not only with the way that he plays, but just he's been such a huge like mentor and help to me in my life and my guitar journey. So if you've ever heard of Shane Roberts, there's a lot of stories out there about how he can play, and I've taken probably, years worth of, well, I don't know how many lessons it would add up to, hundreds of lessons probably at this point, and seen what he can do on the guitar, and it's incredible. So I like, that is probably my biggest influence. But it's mainly been Shane, like, really encouraging me to pursue guitar playing at this level and carve out a space in my life to be able to do this. And that's, it's partly why I'm on stream right now, is that there are people in my life that have been supporters of me pursuing guitar. And I could complain and like look back on my life and say, things didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, or I have so many missed opportunities. But I think the thing that I reflect on a lot is like, what am I doing right now to move the thing forward that I want to do, which is playing guitar at a high level. I want to be able to improvise. I want to play extreme metal, right? I want to do all this stuff. And I think that's the thing that matters. And it's really tough to do that these days, guys, like with things being so expensive and inflated right now. But if you can, I think most people underestimate what they can do in a day, like in the hours of the day. People underestimate what they can do, right? And if you develop some discipline in your life, you can accomplish a lot of things. And so I have like my wife to thank for that, and then of course Shane for helping me develop some discipline in my life. And really, I mean, he's a tough teacher. He's a no bullshit teacher. Like, he will see through your distorted way of thinking about things and help you think more clearly. And I think that's one of the best things that I've learned from him. So and that's the stuff that I try to work on with my own students. So I'll tell you what I'll do now is I'll play All Hope Destroyed by Hate Eternal. I'll play that. That's got a cool solo at the end. and then I might do some more improvising. But I'd really love to hear more from you guys, like what questions you have, people that are jumping in. I know some people that I know closely are here, which is great, but I'd love to hear from some new people that maybe aren't, that are just kind of popping in to the stream here randomly. Love the randos. So, okay, let me switch tones here. That's the metal sound. I hope that sounds good to you guys. So hopefully it sounds cool. Next time I might go direct. So that might sound better. Proteus is in the house. Play it. Here we go. Yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about practicing or picking, picking is a huge topic that we could talk about. So maybe we'll dig into that here in a little bit after I play the song. In the previous Hate Eternal song, I was doing vocals and I programmed the drums. I just wanted to mention that. So I created that track, and what I did for the stream is I lowered the recorded guitar track so my guitar could be a little bit louder on stream so you could hear it more clearly. Hopefully that translated, but this track is the instrumental, so you're going to hear Eric Rutan's guitar, and I'm hoping that mine is louder than it should be. It should be dialed in. So okay, here we go. That was fun. I gotta say this, like, playing that is so much easier now that I've played Behold Judas, because it's just on another level, man. But that's a great song if anybody's interested in getting into learning, like, to play like Rutan. Obviously, you can learn Cannibal Corpse songs. Those some of those they're of varying difficulty. Some of them are really hard. Some of them are easy. But if you want to get into like Hate Eternal stuff, that song All Hope Destroyed is a great one to start with, because it really runs you through the gamut of everything that he does. It's got the tritone riffs. It's got a lot of chromatic riffing. It's got that inside string picking thing, like which took me a while to. So you're going down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. That's what I've been trying to say here. But that whole thing, that was a new picking thing. You could take like an E, open E. See my right hand? You know, riffs like that, but Rutan uses and abuses that. And then in Judas, it's just a lot. It's really just that whole thing. Down, 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 down. So the hardest riff in Behold Judas is the intro. So it's like a tritone and then a fifth. So it's the most extreme. Like, what you have to understand is that he was trying to make the most extreme metal band of all time when he started Hate Eternal. And in later, more recent years, you know, with the newest record, Upon Desolate Sands, it's definitely more of a melodic offering of music than his early work. His early work is really, really beautiful, really brutal, maybe. So we got Proteus in the house. It says Shredded Up Drew. Thanks, man. He said it sounds good over here. That's awesome. This is the perfect representation of the entire courtship to failure of my second marriage. Damn, man. How long did it take you to get to this level? Several years. I mean, a lot of discipline, a lot of like pain and struggle. I'm not like one of those people who can cloud out everything and run after like one goal with reckless abandon. I overthink things a lot. I question things. I second guess myself. It's something that I've dealt with my whole life. So more recently, I have been just, for me, what I have to do is just be really disciplined to get to the next level. Yeah, the picking, it does open up a lot of possibilities. I mean, when I first learned that picking, I thought I was going to do strict alternate. So you're basically hitting some of the notes on an upstroke and some on a downstroke. That would be strict alternate. Which that's how I thought I was going to play. I was like, oh, I'll just pick it this way. But then I watched how Eric picks it, which is like this. With that 2 downs in a row thing. It's almost like a sweep picking thing. So yeah, here's the alternate again. So yeah, that was huge. Learning that. So I guess I can improvise some more. I might we'll give it about 10 more minutes, because unfortunately I don't think more and more people are joining at this point. So I'll probably cap it and then people can check this out tomorrow. But just wanted to say thank you for everybody that's hung out. I know we got Brian Roberts here. We've got Proteus. We've got Fretboard Fanatic. Lane Maylane stopped by for a little bit. Thanks, Lane. Johnson's been here tonight. Thank you guys for kicking it with me. This has been super fun. Like I said, I want to do this a lot more. I think the more I do it, the more comfortable I get. But I think the goal is just to be badass at guitar, and you can just turn on a live stream and just shred for people and it not be like a weird contrived thing. So hopefully that's what you're getting here. So let me pull up another jam track here. Very fortunate to have this amount of guitars. Because I can put them in different tunings. This is like my standard tuned guitar. This one I'm running 9.5s on, which seem to be a nice happy medium between the really slinky 9 feel on a Strat and then 10. I used 10s for a while and that was great, but I wanted to go a little bit lighter to try to really work on that light playing style. So and once again, you know, if you guys have questions about guitar playing, tips and tricks, people were asking me how long did it take to get to this level. I mean, it just took a lot of discipline, many years of playing. I think I could have gotten here a lot faster if I wouldn't have had so many practice gaps. Like there was like entire years where I wasn't practicing a ton. But more recently in the last 3 years, I've been practicing a lot more again. So during the pandemic, I practiced around 8 hours a day, or sometimes more. I would do like 12-hour Saturdays sometimes. And that's when I was going heavy into the Holdsworth stuff. And that I have a lot of good memories of practicing that. I mean, I would wake up at like 10 a.m. or noon or somewhere in there, and then I would basically practice until like 2 or 3 in the morning and then go to bed. Like sometimes when the sun was coming up. It's super weird, but there was nothing else to do. Like you couldn't really go out. You were kind of discouraged from leaving your house, and I think I do okay with that to a degree, but after a while I need to get out and see people and get moving around. I think I do a lot better mentally when I'm up and moving around and doing stuff. So okay, let's try to find a track maybe that I haven't heard before. And I'm a big fan of these Ben Harrison backing tracks. The one that I played to a little bit ago is a Ben Harrison track. Let's do a C. Let's do C minor. Let's try this one. Probably be my last one tonight, guys. I'm gonna cap it there on the jamming. It's not really happening tonight, guys. Sometimes you have these off nights. There's a G7 alt chord in there. And I think I was playing like B. I'm playing B altered over that, and I should have been playing like G altered over that chord. I think it hits the notes a little bit better. So A flat melodic minor, right? So another thing that sounds cool over dominant chords is to play off of the third of the seventh chord. So like you could play a B half, in this case you play a B half diminished. That's a pretty cool sound. Let's see if I can hit that for you real quick. Here, we'll skip ahead where it kind of rocks out more. And then right here. Yeah, so I got to work on that a little bit more. One of the things that I spend a lot of time on is just like practicing scales and getting each position of the scale down, which is good for just knowing the fingerboard. But I think what more jazz players do is they work out like a set of melodic minor licks that they can play over those dominant seventh chords, right? The altered chords, right? So those are just a few thoughts around that, and I want to dig into that stuff a lot more through the end of the year and next year. Improvisational concepts here on the live stream. So, guys, I think that's going to be it for this live stream. I thank you guys for hanging out. Hopefully you had a good time. Hopefully you had some questions answered. We had a good guitar hang here. I had a blast. I love doing this. I'm looking forward to doing it more and growing a little guitar community here. I think it would be fun to have some regulars that pop in on these live streams I try to do it on Monday nights so that there's maybe not as much going on. So hopefully this worked for you. I had a great time. Hopefully you had a good time too. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a member, and you'll see over the next few weeks there will be some new member videos popping up there. So once again, thank you for being here, and I'll see you